Well, hello, everybody. I am here with Katarina Lundgren. I call her Allie, because I've been asked a lot of questions of what I'm actually offering in this course. So I realized I cannot, by no means, project myself into the unknown virtual world. So I've asked Katarina Allie to be here with me, so we can talk a little bit about what the curriculum in psychodynamic equine assisted trauma therapy is actually about. So thank you, Katarina Allie, for being here.
You're welcome.
And yeah, an introduction that starts with an explanation is always a sign of a learning, I realized, because I've been sitting here struggling with how to record this without anybody to talk to. Why an explanation? I was asked to put my trainings online, and I've always found myself in the trainings that I was presenting a lot of theoretical knowledge, even though I don't really do not like theory. I'm a person who enjoys live trainings, interacting with the people and actually interacting, period, and doing period. So that's why I asked Katarina Allie to be there with me. Do you want to share how we proceeded, how that evolved, our over 40 hours of recorded time?
I think it started with you asking me if I could be present, or you said you struggled with it, like you didn't really want to record yourself, and I just said I could be here, so you had someone to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got so into what you were talking to, so I started to add stuff and answer you and interrupt and all kinds of things.
And it evolved into this not necessarily a dialogue, but this exchange, right? I do have over 200 slides that we talked about, and I had videos and all that stuff. But at the same time, it was this exchange between you and I, because I really treasured you. So you yourself offered trainings, and we've been looking at, from Minds in Motion and Mimir, we've been looking at collaborating together. So there's a lot of information that Katarina Allie can add. And at one point I was like, okay, hey, can you, because you do offer a lot of trainings on equines, do you want to just take the equine part? Because my team members on the Minds in Motion team, one of them really struggles with his English, and he was like, there's no way I'm going to talk into a screen and sound like I don't know what, like that. So Katarina Allie then quickly was able to take the equine behavioral specialist part. Once I started reviewing the course material that we had accumulated and recorded, I was like, this is so much. How am I going to comprise that? It all needs to be there. And that's where the curriculum got bigger and bigger and bigger, because originally it was just going to be the theoretical parts of my live trainings. And I wanted to kind of combine the theoretical parts from part 1, it used to be called, and part 2. And now I have an entire online curriculum together. But that's kind of the background as to how this evolved and what it has become. And people have asked me, okay, what is this course about and who is it for? One thing that is very important to me, I guess the course is really for me. I can't say it any other way, because I have such a passion. I said already, I thrive in an environment of interaction. And I am very reluctant to project myself in a virtual environment where I don't see who's on the other side of it. That's the reason why I'm saying this course is really for me, because it is such a reflection of my passion for this field. And it's a passion about the subject, it's a passion about this field.
Yeah. And I want to contribute, I think, because sometimes I think I see things from a slightly different perspective, and it could just, add something to the conversation in our field. Some learnings, perhaps.
That's what pulled me out of that hidden state, so to speak, that I saw, or people addressed me with questions and stuff, and I saw a need to put out information. That comes out in this training again, that a lot of times, obviously my background is psychoanalysis. I've mentioned it, I continue to mention it. And the psychodynamic already speaks for itself. That is one perspective that is being presented on. Parts from the psychodynamics, from the psychoanalytical approach are taken out that I think are pertinent, are very, very important to be able to work in a setting with people and horses. However, I've learned and I've been corrected, and I know that a lot of words from a lot of different approaches and theories, they overlap on so many things. So even though I use this language, the psychodynamic language, the overall message of the training and the message of my practice and my work that I'm sharing is probably an idealistic view and core belief that underneath it all, we are all equals, be it equines, be it humans, it doesn't matter. We as beings, we are, because of our apparent differences, and that's important, the same. And that's what is in this training. So who's it for? I have such a strong belief that this training, or let me just call it this way, the information that I'm putting out in module 1 is for everybody. Anybody and everybody who works with horses in any equine assisted or equine facilitated or equine learning environment. Anybody who wants to know about working with people and working with equines, and who wants to broaden their perspective instead of thinking in categories or focusing on these apparent differences making us different, and maybe learn why I'm saying that we are all, because of our differences, the same.
It's about the equality, and we're all the same.
So to give you an idea of what the curriculum actually consists of, there is altogether 4 modules. Module 1 is what I've been obsessing about and perfecting, hopefully. Anyways, module 1 contains so much information that I decided to split it up into 3 theoretical online learning parts. The first one is the fundamentals of equine-assisted psychotherapy. I present information in a very structured building block type of way. There is psychology in it. As I said, there's elements of the psychoanalytical approach in it that I believe anybody would benefit from. And going into what the factors and components are when it comes to working with horses, with a person, and with another human team member. It moves into part 2, where we look at the fundamentals of equine-assisted trauma therapy. And to those who know me, they can see them because obviously I cover stuff on trauma. And when it comes to trauma, I need to always cover diagnostics. So the diagnostic part I speed through. As Katarina and I've had vivid discussions about diagnostics and the need or no need for that, and what it does in the clinical world by being set up with these categories. But obviously I do present on that and present on some more of the specifics when it comes to trauma. There's a focus on combat-related so-called post-traumatic stress disorders. So one of my team members, Erik Vahonovich, talks specifically about the military system, the military structure, the military organization, and the various components of combat-related experiences. Part 3 has a lot of case examples, and we analyze them based on the information that has been presented in the other 2 parts, and literally take sessions apart to where we can look at what does it take to put things, all these theoretical parts or components into practice, and the pitfalls and the tips. And so it's the practical application of it, even though I will clearly say I do not believe if you've never learned or heard or done anything in anything equine assisted will qualify you to practice. So that's what we do in module 2. But let me add this part to module 1. All of these 3 parts that I just described are being looked at from a psychodynamic perspective. So I will use psychodynamic terminology and labels and you will find if you participate in this course that they can easily be replaced. So I encourage you not to be scared of it, okay, and not to condemn it just because it's psychoanalysis, and everybody might think of Freud then and say, oh my God. So it's a very approachable, I think, approach. Like I said, Module 1 does not qualify you to put things into practice, even though the theoretical components are being discussed and described in detail. Module 2 is an experiential live training at a location of your choice. If we have enough participants, there's a certain number of participants we need. But we then focus on practicing, putting into practice, literally, experientially, with horses, what you've learned in Module 1. And we also look at what you inadvertently bring to the sessions yourself. Part of what makes any equine assisted or facilitated setting so special is what you experience. And I have a firm belief you cannot provide or facilitate anything that you have not yourself experienced. So looking at what you bring to the sessions gives you the opportunity in a contained setting to not only experience, but reflect on what you experience and kind of see what components you bring to the setting yourself. And we look at how or if that then goes with clients. So again, practical experience, practical information. After Module 2, I feel comfortable that if those different components that are being taught are learned and have been understood, that they then, if you work according to them, it provides for a safe setup for clients and horses. Module 3 focuses on the trauma therapeutic confrontation techniques, okay? You need to be trauma therapeutically certified to do any type of trauma therapeutic confrontation. So this is what Module 3 looks at, the various techniques. Particular focus is on EMDR, ego state therapy, and also systemic techniques and approaches. All of those under the view of what the horse is adding to it as a contributing equal team member. So it builds on Module 1 and 2. There's specifics that are being presented in these two modules that hopefully either reinforce or enhance on how you view horses and how you actually look at what they're contributing in sessions and implement that. So this module will not certify anybody in EMDR. It is a requirement that you need to have before you attend it, that you are EMDR certified. As far as the ego state and systemic techniques, those are more techniques than a specific approach. So I will definitely cover that. Module 4 then is the certification part. This will take place at our location in Germany, and there is an exam. There's a few more steps in between, but I wanted to shortly describe this process. The requirements. Do you need to have any requirement before you attend Module 1? No, you do not. It is informative, it is theoretical, it contains a ton of information that I think will benefit, as I said before, anybody who's either already working with equines in any kind of setting, learning, facilitating, assisting, psychotherapeutic, coaching, educational, it doesn't matter. It will benefit anybody, and you at least get a good broad education of the different components and the different structures you can have. As far as Module 2, yes, you need the requirement that you need to have attended Module 1. And preferably, it's more beneficial for you if you attend with a team member. Because, like I said, this is where we practice. And if you're doing it on your own, it doesn't really work, even though it can team people up. But why spend money on any curriculum if you do not intend to practice that way? So, as I said before, if you're a licensed clinician certified in trauma therapy and EMDR, you can then proceed to part 3. As far as the equine behavioral specialist or the equine specialist, equine professional, whatever you want to call it, you will learn a lot about equines in Module 1 and Module 2. However, you need to be knowledgeable on how to interact and with horses, or what to do with horses, and you need to be proficient in equine behaviors. Module 1, Module 2 do not teach you that. So those are the requirements. Module 4, yeah, you need to have gone through all the different modules. You need to be certified in traumatherapy and EMDR if you want to become certified in PEATT. And as an equine behavioral specialist, you need to be working in a team to be certified in that and provide sufficient knowledge about equine behaviors and be proficient in interacting with them. And then you need to pass the exam. So I hope I answered the questions that have been bombarding me online. And instead of writing to everybody and answering to everybody, I hope this covers it. Is there anything you want to add to this?
I just thinking about clarifications. With team, you mean an equine professional and a mental health practitioner working together?
Yes.
Yeah. And they can all go through all of these 4 levels to be
Absolutely.
then do the exam at your place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, then I hope this helps. And I thank Katarina, Ali, very, very much for being here again. So I was not talking to a screen and talking to myself, and my tone was not robotic. So I'm going to put this online. I'm not projecting this out at you. I'm talking to Katarina here. So if you have any further questions, the timeline for starting enrollment will be within the next couple of weeks. I intend to have completed all of that stuff that needs to be online. I need to design a website still. So hopefully I'll get that done, and then enrollment can start, and then the course will start in January, February. Because it will be a self-paced one, not everybody needs to start at the same time, but the course offers the opportunity, if many people sign up at the same time, that you guys can interact with each other, which I so encourage. I thought long and hard about making this a part of the curriculum, and I decided against it. It seems like these days we all have a lot of preoccupations going on with what's going on in the world. So I fully trust you want to learn, and I fully trust that you will keep it at a pace. I look forward to meeting you. So hopefully I will see you there. Thank you very much.